Let's just get right into the video.
You'd be surprised to learn that cholesterol is the #1 cause of death worldwide. But you'd also be surprised to learn that cholesterol is actually good for you. It
Wow, so both sentences wrong in 12 seconds. Very impressive.
all depends on how much cholesterol you have in circulation. The main problem with cholesterol control is that 1 out of every 3 of us have high levels in our blood, and most of us don't really know what to eat.
So it's actually 1 in 3 people have high LDL. And somehow heart disease wasn't a leading cause of death before the 1900s. You know, the hunter and gatherers eating nothing but animal fats. No cardiovascular disease ever on record. The cholesterol was there. It was something else that was changed.
Or how to solve this problem. So in today's video, I'll reveal 7 of the best natural cholesterol reducers in existence. We'll make sure that you stay healthy naturally and effectively. Hey guys, Dr. Gus here, naturopath, acupuncturist, conventional doctor, and founder of drlandevar.com. In this channel is a conventional doctor treating patients through natural medicine before returning to the use of pharmaceutical drugs. Cholesterol is a waxy, fat-like substance found in all of our cells. And believe it or not, it can tell you a lot about your health in the future. This substance is essential because every hormone and cell uses it to function properly. It's also a building block for every single cell in the body and even keeps your liver making acids that are required to process fat. In a nutshell, cholesterol is good for you if and only if it stays within a normal range.
So he actually described cholesterol correctly with cell membranes, hormones, bile acid, all essential for life. But then immediately said it becomes a serious problem if you have too much. And that's a contradiction he is talking about throughout this whole video. Every steroid hormone you make starts from cholesterol. Testosterone, estrogen, cortisol. You cannot build testosterone without cholesterol. So a low cholesterol diet is an anti-testosterone one. That's not an opinion, that's straight chemistry.
This substance becomes a serious problem if you produce too much of it, or it's produced out of control.
So produced out of control, it's very wrong because your liver regulates cholesterol synthesis. You eat more dietary cholesterol and your liver will produce less. If you eat less cholesterol, your liver is going to produce more. It is one of the most tightly regulated systems in your entire body, and it does not just randomly run out of control.
Today's video, I'll reveal 7 of the best natural
Additionally, a thing he never says is that there's 2 completely different things, both called LDL. There's native LDL, the transport molecule in your liver that carries cholesterol to tissue, and oxidized LDL, the same particle after it's been chemically damaged. Native LDL is not causing plaque in your arteries. Oxidized LDL is. And that plaque is not cholesterol. It's damaged cholesterol that the immune system cannot clear. So what's damaging it in the first place? It's a compound called 4-HNE, and it is produced when seed oils such as canola, soybean, sunflower undergo lipid peroxidization. This happens at high cooking temperatures and also in digestion. So the 4-HNE is oxidizing LDL particles and makes them unrecognizable to your clearance receptors. Then accumulating in artery walls, and that's what the plaque is.
cholesterol reducers in existence that will make you stay healthy, naturally and effectively. Number 1, eat more fiber. What does fiber have to do with cholesterol? Does it really make a difference? And yes, it does. Fiber is basically a plant-based nutrient that's sometimes called roughage or bulk. Unlike carbohydrates, for example, cannot be broken down into digestible sugar molecules. This is why it passes through the intestinal tract and lining undigested, relatively intact. And this is a good thing because in the process it traps cholesterol, making it harder for your body to absorb it.
So trapping cholesterol, it's so funny. So he's describing this as a benefit when cholesterol is essential. Your body is producing it because you need it. So when you block absorption, your liver is just upregulating its synthesis of cholesterol anyways. You haven't fixed anything, you're just adding an extra step. Also, fiber is physically blocking enzyme access to every nutrient around it by about 30%. It's not selectively blocking cholesterol, it's blocking absorption in general, which is an awful trade.
Number 2, eat lots of garlic. Most people don't know that garlic has been well recognized over the past 100 years as both a protective agent and a treatment for cholesterol, cardiovascular disease, even and metabolic disease.
So we went from oxidized LDL to garlic. Very nice. So the studies he's actually talking about are epidemiological. Populations that eat more garlic are also tending to eat more whole foods. So less processed foods, less seed oils, stuff like that. So the garlic is not doing the work in these studies. The confounding factors are. This is a healthy user bias problem. It runs through almost every nutrition study that's ever been published and is a really big deal.
Diseases. Other conditions include, for example, atherosclerosis, which is when your arteries narrow in size due to cholesterol plaque buildup, hyperlipidemia, which is basically just cholesterol rising over normal levels, thrombosis, which is basically blood clotting, hypertension, and diabetes that are greatly affected by the way you eat garlic every day. By the way, several scientific reviews in both experimental and clinical trials and studies have found that garlic consumption has a significant cardioprotective effect in both animal and human studies.
Again, correlation, not causation.
I strongly suggest you make an effort to add garlic to all your meals. It's not only delicious, but healthy. Number 3, start consuming flaxseed. Believe it or not, eating healthy fats is excellent for cholesterol balance. Most people don't know that eating healthy fats can actually lower your cholesterol levels instead of rising them. Flaxseed is one of those precious healthy fat sources that everyone should have to help control cholesterol, hyperlipidemia, heart disease, diabetes, you name it. And to confirm this, a very interesting study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that adding flax seeds to our diets can naturally reduce cholesterol levels. They found that what flaxseed did was increase the amount of fat excreted through bowel movements. You see, the soluble fiber that we just talked about found in flax seeds traps fat and cholesterol in your digestive system as a way.
So there's 3 huge problems with this. Flaxseed is high in ALA, which is the plant version of omega-3. So your body is converting that ALA to DHA and EPA at about 1 to 5% efficiency. You're getting almost none of the omega-3 that's actually mattering for this cardiovascular health. You need performed DHA and EPA, and guess what? Obviously that comes from animal foods. Secondly, flaxseed is absolutely loaded with phytic acid, which binds zinc, iron, calcium, and magnesium in your gut and blocks absorption. So you eat flaxseed to fix your cholesterol, and you leave the meal more mineral deficient than when you started. Additionally, in being high in phytic acid, it's also really high in linoleic acid, which is the same omega-6 that is in seed oils, which is causing the problem in the first place. So he's recommending a concentrated source of the exact fatty acid that drives lipid peroxidization and produces 4-HNE. Just to fix cholesterol, I can't believe he's wrong on 3 different layers. What a guy.
Of not letting it be absorbed by your system. Flaxseed fiber also traps bile, which contains cholesterol also. And just like this first study, there are other studies that evaluate that same benefit in flaxseed consumption. So now you know flax seeds every day if possible. And if you need a quality supplement formula that can help you reduce cholesterol levels and blood pressure in your body and your system, look for Appleizer and Heart Excel.
This guy's literally made this video to plug these supplements and this brand. It's such a joke.
From Violin at drlandemar.com. Number 4, eat more fish. Fish and red wine
Red wine, you really think that's going to be helping with your health?
Are 2 of the most powerful foods anyone can consume to improve heart health and cholesterol. Most people don't know that fish oil and fish consumption is actually excellent for cholesterol control. Studies have now shown that people who eat a lot of fish have much more lower rates of heart disease. And that's not all, because apparently multiple risk factors for heart disease appear to also be reduced by the consumption of fish and fish oil. So cholesterol levels, triglycerides, blood pressure, plaques, fatal arrhythmias, all can be benefited with fish consumption. No one really knows.
So I'll definitely give him the fish point, because the DHA and the EPA from specifically wild seafood are genuinely anti-inflammatory. They directly compete with the plaque in the arteries for the same enzymic pathways and reduce inflammatory signaling. Iodine and psyllium from seafood also supports thyroid function, which affects metabolic rate and cardiovascular health. But notice he's not even mentioning why fish works in the first one. He's going to say no one really knows why exactly, when the mechanism is DHA and EPA reducing the acid to EPA ratio. It's not a whole mystery. It's really well supported.
Why exactly this plays a role in every single part of this, global condition of heart disease. But with respect to cholesterol, fish oil is one of the most powerful supplements anyone can take to reduce its dangerous levels. In fact, it's so powerful and undeniable that now medical doctors around the world are learning about it in medical school. If you need something effective for cholesterol control and blood pressure and heart health, look for Visofar, which contains fish oil, and Heart Excel from Violin at drlandemar.com. Number 5, thistle essence. Guess what organ is the one responsible for fabricating cholesterol and distributing all throughout the body? This means that if your liver is not working properly, maybe suffering with fat within or whatever problem, maybe hormone imbalance, you will not be able to control cholesterol properly. One of the most
So he's right about the liver controlling cholesterol, and he's also right that a damaged liver can't regulate it properly. But what's damaging the liver in the first place? Well, it's fructose, specifically de novo lipogenesis, from a fructose overload causing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. The fix is in fact not milk thistle. The fix is removing fructose from the diet. If you remove the cause, the liver's gonna recover.
Important things that you should be doing is trying to eat and consume foods that will correct this liver or this liver problem. In this case, maybe fruits and vegetables, which are very important, but also milk thistle. Milk thistle is a liver protective herb that has been proven time and time again to help that liver function. If you add on some milk thistle and change your diet, this will have incredible impacts on your health. Your diet is extremely important, and your liver is also very, very crucial in cholesterol control. Never forget that. If you need a good quality concentration formula, the best herb available in nature for this purpose, look for Thistle Essence from Fineland at Dr.
This guy really is just plugging these supplements all throughout the video. It's such a joke. I think we're going to end it there. But to kind of summarize the whole thing, you have cholesterol is not the number one cause of death. The oxidized LDL that contributes to the plaque in the arteries is. And that's not the same thing as regular LDL. They're chemically different particles with completely different biological aspects. The thing that oxidizes LDL are seed oils producing 4-HNE and fructose producing AGEs, which were both introduced at a really huge scale in the 20th century, and both track with cardiovascular disease. Saturated fat, on the other hand, has no double bonds, and it cannot even produce 4-HNE. It cannot oxidize LDL. That is not an opinion, that is just straight facts. Fiber, flaxseed, and garlic are not addressing this mechanism. They're not even touching on the 4-HNE or the oxidization process. So what you really need to do is remove what's oxidizing the LDL, and then that's when the problem will change. But I'll see you guys in the next one.